Hello, and welcome everyone to another day here at Live at the Waterhole. My name is Amy, and I will be with you today for the first half of the show. So, a very warm welcome to all of you viewers at home. It's always so exciting to start off another day at the Waterhole. We're never quite sure what we're going to see. I know I'm excited. I hope you all are too. And a reminder that this is a live and interactive show, so please do make sure that you send through your comments and your questions if you do have any. Let me know where you're joining us from today. I always love to know where our viewers are from. There are many of you from all over the world, and we all share this common passion for the bush. And always some interesting questions and comments that come through, and we get to discuss and learn from one another. And today we have started off at Juma. Now, apparently, this very dead looking tree is home to a starling's nest. I think it is Cape starlings. And sometimes we see them pop their heads out or come and fly back with nesting material. And it's always interesting to watch in this time of the year. Many birds are building nests and having chicks. And it's one of the awesome things that I love about summertime in the African bush, especially here in the Sabi Sands region of South Africa, right on our very own Juma. All right, well, it looks like another beautiful sunny day here at Juma, and we are having quite the heat wave at the moment. But let's have a look and see if those temperatures are still as high as they were yesterday. All right, so another warm day all around, everyone. It really is hot across most of our locations, but that just means that more animals are going to be looking for water, which is great for us. I think the starlings are there now on the right-hand side. Those actually look like Birchall starlings. Longer tail and a black eye. It almost looked like they were feeding each other or one another. Oh, and as birds do, they have flown away. Now we get many different types of starlings within South Africa, and specifically in the Lowveld area. And Birchall starlings are just one of them. They're a little bit easier to identify because they have a dark eye and a longer tail. And what also helps to know which starlings you're looking at is looking at their distribution. So not all starlings occur everywhere. The only starling I think that you may be able to confuse a Birchall starling with is a Meave starling, but they don't occur in the same area. So your Meave starling occur a little bit further north in the northern Kruger area around Pafuri and Punda Maria, and slightly more purple than the navy blue of a Birchall starling. All right, well, we are going to keep our eyes open here at Juma to see if anything else comes down of interest. But for now, why don't we head over to King's Camp with a herd of buffalo who have come down to drink. Oh, wow, everyone. Look at this. A fantastic way to start off the morning for us all today. I wonder how many there are going to be. With a herd of buffalo, you never quite know. There always seems to be more and more arriving. I'll take a moment to enjoy the sounds of these buffalo here, arriving to drink all together. Hello, Kim. Welcome to the show. You say you are watching from New Zealand. I think you are then a very good afternoon to you, or evening. And you say you're originally from South Africa and you love that. Well, this is a wonderful way, Kim, that you can still stay connected to the beautiful South African bushveld, even if you are all the way in New Zealand. So thank you for watching, Kim, and thank you for letting me know. It's good to have you with us today.
Get ready for a flurry of feathers and beaks. WildEarth is celebrating BirdLife South Africa's 39th Birding Big Day. Join our naturalists on drive as they compete to spot the most bird species across locations during Sunset Safari Live. Don't miss out on the fun. WildEarth, it's in your nature.
Well, this is fabulous, everybody. King's Camp is not a location that we come to too often, not because of any other reason that we don't often see too many animals coming down here um, to link over to it. So this is a really awesome addition to the show today, especially seeing just how beautifully green it is. And then we have this herd of buffalo. I'm going to try count to see sort of an idea of how many are here. But I would say maybe around between 30 and 40 or so. Some of them haven't even come to the water yet because the ones in the front have hogged it. So I think maybe we'll see a second batch making their way towards the front to get their drink of water. Hi Jojo, thanks for your question. You want to know how come these buffalo look more lighter brown than usual, and I do agree with you. They do look a little bit lighter, but Jojo, I think that is the way the sun is shining on them. In sort of when they're full of mud, we don't often see their true color, and then also if we look at them in the shade or in the evening or the early morning, often that very black hair is more prominent because of the shadows around. Whereas when sunlight shines on them, buffaloes are actually quite brown in the sunlight. It could also be another possibility is just this particular herd's genetic makeup means that their skin's a little bit more brown. But I think just because of the sun is almost directly overhead of them, it's very, very bright today, very hot. And that is also to do with this particular camera here at King's Camp and the way that it captures the colors. So maybe I think if you were on a vehicle or were at a hide looking at these buffalo, they maybe would look a little bit darker in real life compared to the colors that this particular camera is capturing. So it's nothing too significant, Jojo, at this point into why these. It's a very normal color for a buffalo. I can see some do look a little bit darker and some a little bit lighter. But that also could just be variations between their coats. But it's not a different species or anything like that. It is still the African buffalo. This buffalo right in front has a fantastic idea of lying down in the water. I'm not sure why they all don't do that. With it being so hot today. I think some of the oxpeckers that often sit on the backs of these buffaloes are also coming for a drink. Just to the left of them, there on the water's edge, I can see some birds drinking. I think those are the oxpeckers. And buffalo have a very particular sort of cycle within their day. And it'll be interesting if they decide now that this is the place. I can see some of them already starting to feed in the background. They've had a drink of water now. One or two are sitting down, whether this is the time that they choose to ruminate, which basically means as a group they'll decide to rest for a bit, rechew their cud, and then slowly move on to start feeding. And again, the cycle continues. Okay, well, we are going to perhaps come back to these buffalo a little bit later on if they stick around, but let's head over to check on some elephants at Jamala. Wow, well, we are picking up right where we left off yesterday. And these elephants never do disappoint, do they? You can't have a day without Eddies. So hope everyone is ready for some more elephant therapy today. Hello, Howard from the UK. You are asking what is the gestation period of an African elephant? Howard, it is 22 months. So just less than 2 years is how long female elephants are pregnant for. So it is a very long time. I have not been pregnant before, but from those ladies that I do know who have been pregnant, 9 months is enough. So I cannot imagine what 22 months would be like. But the larger the animal, generally, the longer the gestation period. And so these elephants need their babies to be developed to a certain degree, and those 22 months allow that development to take place so that when they're born, they can see, they can in a very short space of time walk and move and keep up with the herd. And so that 22 months is necessary for these Eddies. There are two very little ones here in this herd that we're looking at. There's one on the right-hand side who's just sticking between mom and, I don't know, big sister's legs there. And then there's another little one that's just decided it's too hot. I need to lie down.
to know more about the spotted cat of the festive season? Join Gabe and Cedric for a Cheetah Chase AMA this International Cheetah Day.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Cedric Dold.
Ask our expert naturalists any cheetah-related questions and learn more about the quickest predator of the safari.
Yeah, it's going. It's gonna get it. Oh!
Watch it live and come along for the fun. WildEarth, it's in your nature.
Well, there are two young bulls here, just moving from right to left, that have been being quite boisterous, let me put it that way. There they go once again. And I also see some buffaloes coming down, everyone. Wow, we are being treated today. Some other younger boys having a bit of a tussle here on this little island. And typical of young elephant bulls to be doing this and have a little bit of a trumpet in between. You can see these two playing on the left. It's also having a little bit of fun. Oh, wow. Time for a mud bath, clearly. Oh, and there is such a tiny one, two little ones actually behind this bigger one in the water. You can just see their trunks sticking out every now and again. So much to look at. I don't know where to focus on. But you can see this tiny baby. It hardly is it's just as high as the water, standing next to mom right in the middle of the screen at the back. There we go. But these elephants are putting on a show for you all. Also, just to apologize for any construction noises you may hear here at Jamala. If you are wondering what those sounds that you may hear are, there is just a bit of building happening behind the waterhole where the lodge is located. So just to explain that and apologize for those noises. Highly and absolutely agree with you. Not only is Josie or Johannesburg very, very hot today, so is here in the Lowveld. And I do wish that I was one of those elephants there, or the buffaloes, to be honest. I mean, they're also making this look very attractive at the moment. Sanjeev, you say that Jamala is like the Carpenter's famous song, Yesterday Once More, because today's scenario here at the Waterhole is exactly like yesterday or the day before yesterday. Yes, it is. It really is amazing how we are spoiled here to see these elephants and animals in general day after day. But it wasn't always like this, and that's why I'm very grateful, even if we're seeing very similar scenarios as the previous days, because there was like a week, maybe a week and a half, where it was extremely quiet here at Jamala, due to the fact that it was so cold and we had some rainy weather. And the elephants disappeared for a little bit, and so did the buffaloes. And now to have these herds and the elephant bulls all here, and look at these boys playing on the right, all interacting with one another, is wonderful. All right. Well, I don't think that these elephants are going anywhere, everyone. So why don't we head over to Juma to see what we can find over there? Well, we have found a few impalas, and I think we're just going to have a look to see if we can see one of the little lambs, although these are looking like a group of young males at the moment. But the bird calls at Djuma are always my favorite, I must say. It is lovely to just sit and listen, especially now that the woodlands kingfishers are calling. Oh, hi, Liam. You are from the UK and you are wanting to know how I'm able to recognize which birds are calling just by the call. Liam, it's the only way to answer that question is basically to tell you it's just by learning it. Um, I know that if you are from a different country and perhaps it may seem quite amazing to be able to do that, but the longer that you spend out in the bush in a particular area, and for me, the Lowveld where Djuma is located, the Greater Kruger National Park, is an area where I have guided and spent a lot of time in. And so I've learnt the familiar bird calls that we hear, especially in this area. And a lot of the birds in South Africa we do get across many different locations, and so I'm able to recognize it. But we don't always get it right. But there are some very distinct calls, ones that we know and are able to recognize. And it's just from repetition, Liam. One of the ways that I've learned bird calls is by using one of the bird apps on my phone, which I then go and had to learn certain bird calls at the beginning of my guide training. And you actually get tested on it. And that forces you in a way to learn them. I do apologize if there was a bit of picture break up there, everyone. But Liam, I know it may seem crazy to think that someone can do that, but it's very possible. And like I said, then once you're out in the field, the more time that you spend day after day after day, you get to know these calls like a second nature, and it's very easy to recognize some of them.
Are you WildEarth's biggest fan? Then our Fan of the Month is a competition for you. Join our naturalists on Safari Live and listen out for weekly questions. To enter the competition, head over to our Instagram, search #WildEarthFan and comment your answer under the post. The monthly winner will be determined by the total quickest and most correct answers and will win a private virtual safari. We announce our winner at the end of every month. Tune in to Safari Live daily. WildEarth, it's in your nature. Well, it looks like for now, just those impalas in the area. Oh, we're looking back here at this starling nest. I do see some birds sitting in the tree there. Difficult to say exactly which ones, but possibly, yeah, that looks like a starling. Once again, that Birchall's starling that we saw earlier. And I was busy speaking about the different starlings before we headed over to see some buffaloes, which was very exciting. Another really awesome starling that we can see at this time of year in the Lowveld is the violet-backed starling. It's a migratory bird, so it's not here all year. And if we do spot one, or perhaps if I hear one calling, then I'll point it out to you. The males are the ones with the violet backs, whereas the females are completely different. They're actually a white with a browny white bird, very heavy brown streaking on the breast. But the males have this beautiful violet back. In the sunshine, it is absolutely incredible.
If you haven't seen a violet-backed starling before, look it up. It is very impressive, and I love to spot them amongst the trees at this time of year. Starlings are just one of the birds that will use a nesting site like this to nest in with a sort of, it looks like a broken off branch of, I think it's a marula tree, and use that cavity inside to nest in. Also, something like a green wood hoopoe would also use something like that to nest in at this time of year. Lilac-breasted rollers. So we may see a dead branch of a tree, but it actually forms a new habitat for these birds that are able then to nest in it. Inga, you want to know how are they able to actually build the nest inside the tree? What they do, they actually get nesting materials. So I've seen starlings, quite often they like to use bits of elephant dung, and they take that and they actually line the cavity within the dead tree. So there's lots of little nooks and crannies which they can find inside. Then they find the perfect one that's the right size, and they actually line that so that the babies, the eggs aren't just laid on hardwood. They actually make it really soft and comfy. They may use grass, they may use elephant dung, they may use lots of different things to be able to make that nice and warm and cozy inside there. And so, Inga, that is what they do. These birds, so they do sort of build a nest, but it's not like your little what we call songbirds that make a beautiful, like a blue waxbill nest, a longbill crombeck nest, tawny flank prinia nest. It's this beautiful little created nest out of little sticks and grasses, and they make this beautiful nest attached on the outside of a tree. Whereas things like starlings, barbets, lilac-breasted rollers, they'll use an empty cavity, just like what we're seeing here within. And there might be multiple different species using the same tree, because it's got lots of different cavities within it. I can see a hole straight ahead of me here on the tree. It looks like there's another hole just above it going into where that one branch broke off. And then, of course, there's a big hole where that actual tree branch has cracked off. So, that is how they do it. It's amazing. All right, everyone. Well, as always, we will see what else comes down here at Djuma. But for now, let's go check in on those buffalo at King's Camp. Sorry, everyone. We just lost King's Camp feed. As soon as it is up and running again, we'll head over to check on the buffalo. But for now, we're just going to hang out here. Can you hear what sounds like a tawny flanked prinia calling as well? A very pretty little chip, 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 chip sound in the background. All right, well, it looks like we haven't got King's Camp back yet, but we do have Jamala, so let's head over there. Well, I'm not sure where these zebras are going to find a spot to drink here, everyone, but that looks like they're waiting for their chance. There is a bit of a gap here on the left by the buffalo, so maybe that's where they're going to choose to drink. Also, just to add on to Juma, when we zoomed out from that dead tree branch, I saw that it wasn't a marula tree. It was indeed a old knobthorn tree, just to clarify that. I also just heard a Jacobin's cuckoo calling, which is also another migratory bird that we get back here. All the cuckoos come back. Very cool to spot those as well in the area. But look at these zebra, everybody. That one just slipped there. It looked like. Oh, wow. Those little ones really got a bit of a fright. Look at that. They running away very quickly. This buffalo's a little bit trapped in there, looking for a gap out, I suppose. There we go. It's amazing how if one animal acts a certain way, it's a chain reaction. And next thing you know, all of the zebras are suddenly a little bit worked up. And buffaloes now are running away. There was a wildebeest that made an appearance there. It's contagious. Even if there's absolutely nothing wrong, just because one animal's reacted, you'll find many of them react the same way. Hi, Jim. Yes, it is the zebras making that noise in the background. It does sound like a donkey, doesn't it? But yeah, it is zebras that are making that call. It's the sound that they make. Sometimes it's a little bit of excitement. Sometimes it's a bit of when they're a little bit threatened. It just depends on the situation. But in this case, I think there were a few of them running around, and I think they were calling with a little bit of being a little bit worked up. Oh, that one just bucked the one behind it in the center of the zebra. We sometimes see females doing that if a male's trying to mate with them and they are not ready to be mated with. They get them kicking up those hind legs. Zebra's kick is extremely powerful, everyone. And it's actually quite risky for something like a lion to hunt them. That's why often they need to be a group of lions to be able to take one down, just because that kick of a zebra could kill a lion if aimed or ends up hitting in the right place. All right, well, now that the zebra have had their drink of water and the elephants are also relaxing here by the water, let's head over to King's Camp and see what's happening over there. Right, well, those buffalo are still in the shade there on the right, but here we have some beautiful nyalas who have come to drink. It looks like 4 females. But how peaceful is this, everyone?
Step into a world of discovery as you join Eco Training's renowned courses in the heart of Kenya's Masai Mara. These courses are the perfect way to gain a deep understanding of the African bush, even if you have limited time. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to experience the wild in a meaningful and life-changing way. Enroll today and embark on a transformative journey with Eco Training in Kenya's Masai Mara, the leading force in conservation education.
see these nyalas now just making their way off behind the bush. They might come out on the other side, but we still have, I think, a few buffaloes under the tree on the right. But beautiful to see those very dainty antelope, I like to call them. And females, the male nyalas are completely different from the females, and they turn this very sort of dark browny color. They also have horns, whereas those females stay that beautiful orange stripy color throughout their lives. And there we have some of those buffalo that we were talking about. Well, now these buffalo, there's one on the right feeding, but a few have now decided to sit down. And I think in general, they've decided they're going to use a bit of time here in the shade to ruminate. There's obviously not enough shade here for all of those buffalo, so I think a few of them have moved off to find another tree within the area, but they will all stay together for the most part. Hi, Lenny. You are wanting to know what the concrete things are. I think you're talking about the sort of like concrete block that has a light inside of it, and that is what it is. It's a little structure to protect a spotlight, which they use at night, I think, to light up this water hole. So that's what the concrete is over there. Oh, I think we're in luck, everyone. Some of these buffaloes are getting thirsty again. And they are coming to drink. Look at those perfect reflections in the water. Oh, I can hear a beautiful Birchel's cuckoo in the background. That sort of descending trill of notes, also known as the rain bird. Although I don't think there's any rain predicted in the Lowveld for the next week or so. And now a few impala as well have just decided to walk through in the background. What a beautiful scene this is, everyone.
Whether you're a retiree, a recent graduate, or a professional seeking a change, the 55-day Eco Training program is for you. With the coaching of experienced training guides, you'll embark on an unforgettable adventure that will give you a deep understanding of wildlife, conservation, and African cultures. If you sign up locally or internationally using this promo code, you'll receive 2,000 Rand off.
Have some beautiful male impalas here now as well that decided to brave the buffalo and come and drink. But these looks like buffalo bulls are all sitting here together. And quite honestly, I've said it again and I've said it before and I'll say it again. If I was an animal out there, I would definitely be seated in these water holes today and make myself very, very comfortable. These buffaloes almost look like they're posing for their family picture. Very stylishly seated as well as standing. And when they all look this way, it really does make for a great photo. Oh, there's a bird that's landed in the tree here. I'm just trying to figure out what that could be. It's a bit tricky to say just with the lighting, but it looked maybe something like a bunting, but I'm not 100% sure at all. There's that beautiful Birchel's cuckoo calling again. Ooh, hi, Lainey. You have asked a very difficult question. You want to know what my favorite bird is, and you say that yours is a secretary bird. Well, that is a fantastic bird to choose. Secretary birds are amazing birds. For those of you who don't know what a secretary bird is, it is also a type of, I suppose, bird of prey. It hunts things like snakes and lizards and rats and things like that, but it is a very large bird. It's got a beautiful face with a sort of halo of feathers that come out around its head, and it's black and grey in color and very long legs. But Lenny, oh man, it's so hard to choose one bird. I do love birds of prey. Difficult to choose one in particular. But I always get very excited when I see a bateleur or a martial eagle. Bateleur because it's so unique in color. It's a type of eagle, and it's got black feathers on its body with a very bright red orangey beak and legs. And there's no other bird, I think, in the world that looks like a bateleur. And I love that we get to see them quite often here where I work and live. And then a martial eagle is it's the largest eagle that we find here in the low veld in Africa. And it's huge, but it's also beautiful. It's got this beautiful dark head and body with this white chest with speckles on and this deep sort of amber eye. And it's always that one we don't actually see as often. So when we are able to spot it, it is a treat. And then, of all the other birds, oh man, it's so I love cuckoos. I think that cuckoos are incredible birds. Also special to see them because we don't see them all year round, and we get some very beautiful cuckoos. I think my favorite is the classes cuckoo of the ones that we see. I think the African emerald cuckoo is another one that is more located in foresty areas, which I think is the most beautiful cuckoo of all the cuckoos. But the one that is my favorite that I get to see fairly regularly is a classes cuckoo. It's also got my favorite bird call. Also very difficult, Lenny, to choose one, to be honest with you. But a classes cuckoo has a beautiful call, which I always get excited when I hear it. But a very close second is actually this Birchel's cuckoo, which is calling. It's a very, in the very early morning, if you hear this bird calling, it's just a magical feeling. And I think the other bird that I really love, and I think are also really beautiful, are the southern ground hornbills. That is a very large bird that we see, also black with a red around its neck and face. And they have a beautiful call as well, very unique. They only really call in the very, very early morning and sometimes in the late evening. And I love it when I'm able to hear them, especially on an early morning game drive. It's like 5 a.m. and the sun's just coming up. Maybe there's some mist in the air and you hear those southern ground hornbills calling in the background. I can't imitate their calls, so I'm not going to try. But it's almost always sounds like it's at quite a far distance. And it's a very soft call that they make. Oh, wow. So I've just got some cool info from MC, who are talking to me and giving me your questions. And they've just sent an update that apparently there are some alarm calls coming just from the south of these buffaloes. So we'll keep our eyes peeled. There's never any guarantees. But perhaps something's also making their way down towards the water today. Impalas would alarm call for something like lions, leopards, anything like that walking down. If it were wild dogs, they wouldn't alarm call. They would just simply run.
What if you could explore the world from an entirely new perspective? Flying a real drone live without leaving home. This is Nature Eye. Discover our planet's landscapes with a personal guide and a powerful camera. Every flight helps conserve the locations you visit. Book your adventure with Nature Eye.
Well, time has flown, everyone, and we are about to get Africam added to the show now at 12 o'clock. So if you are watching on YouTube, please do make sure that you hop on over to either the website or our app, as well as if you are in the UK, you can view on Freeview, or if you're in Southern Africa on DSTV, you can carry on watching the show there. But yes, we're excited to have Africam add on. Well, welcome back, everyone, and welcome to Africam, who has now joined the show. And thanks to them, we are here at Naledi Dam in the Greater Kruger area. And we have a beautiful elephant that has come to drink. This elephant is lucky today to have the whole drinking trough to himself. It sometimes can be quite busy here. Apologies for that, everyone. We just lost Naledi's feed, but no worries. We have headed over here to the beautiful Jamala at Madikwe Game Reserve in South Africa. And we have no shortage of elephants here, that is for sure. As well as some zebra who have come to drink. But what a beautiful sight this is. Well, this has been lovely to check in at Jamala, but apparently Naledi is back, so why don't we head back over there? Okay, well, this young bull on the left has not stayed alone. We have two others who have now joined him. I think this one is going to go and try... Oh, it's trying to push him out the way. Have a bit of a splash now. Doesn't look like he's got too much water on him. Oh, there we go. Enjoy, everyone. It's interesting to note how these elephants drink from this trough here and not from the natural water hole on the left hand side. They do choose rather to drink from this nice cool fresh water rather than the more dirty muddy water, which they use to splash themselves with, like we have seen from this elephant bull. Whereas something like lions, like we saw on, I think it was Tuesday, here at this very dam, the whole pride came down to drink, and they drank straight from the water. Also, I think this trough might be a little bit high for them.